All right, y'all, gather around, grab your marshmallows or hot dogs or whatever you're roasting on this great fire. It's that time again, and I have another tale of campers in the woods on a night that started off much like we have it here tonight. Get your flashlights or teddy bears, hold on to your friends tightly or whatever you need to make it through the next few minutes, because it's story time. Moonlight Pines. A name that evokes a sense of mystery and wonder, doesn't it? Name's fitting. Place is draped in shadows, cloaked in an eerie silence that seems to hum. The forest feels alive, as if it's holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. Pine trees stand tall, gnarled branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. They seem to whisper secrets to the moon, their twisted forms casting eerie silhouettes. Moonlight struggles to penetrate the thick canopy, casting long, distorted shadows on the forest floor. These shadows dance and shift, creating an ever-changing tapestry of light and dark. Air is thick with the scent of pine needles and damp earth. Every breath you take is filled with the essence of the forest, grounding you in its ancient presence. A constant, unsettling breeze whispers through the trees, carrying the scent of something else, something ancient and unseen. It's as if the forest itself is trying to communicate, to share its long-forgotten tales. Deep within this shadowy embrace, a small clearing, a place where the moonlight finally breaks through, offering a brief respite from the oppressive darkness. A flickering fire casts dancing shadows upon the faces of four friends huddled close. The warmth of the flames contrasts sharply with the cold, eerie atmosphere of the forest. Liam, the pragmatic one, feeds the flames. His steady hands and calm demeanor provide a sense of security to the group. Emily, ever the optimist, smiles at the warmth of the fire. Her laughter is a beacon of light in the surrounding darkness. Jake, the skeptic, rolls his eyes at every rustle of leaves. His disbelief is a shield against the unknown, a way to keep fear at bay. And then there's Sarah, her eyes wide with a mixture of fear and fascination. She's drawn to the mystery of the forest even as it terrifies her. They've come to Moonlight Pines, seeking adventure, a break from the mundane. They crave the thrill of the unknown, the excitement of stepping into a world that feels both familiar and alien. They've come to tell ghost stories, to share tales that send shivers down their spines and make their hearts race. But Moonlight Pines has a story of its own to tell, a story that's been waiting in the shadows, ready to be discovered by those brave enough to listen. First story ends, laughter echoing through the stillness. The friends' faces are lit by the flickering flames, their eyes sparkling with the remnants of amusement. They exchange glances, the camaraderie of the moment wrapping around them like a warm blanket. Silence descends once more, heavier than before. The forest around them seems to hold its breath, as if waiting for something to happen. The night is thick with an almost tangible tension, the kind that makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. A log cracks in the fire, sending sparks spiraling upwards. The sudden noise makes a few of them jump, their nerves already on edge. The firelight dances on their faces, casting eerie shadows that flicker and shift. The wind picks up, rustling through the trees with a sound like whispered warnings. It weaves through the branches, creating a symphony of soft, unsettling noises that seem to come from all directions at once. Emily shivers, pulling her jacket tighter. She glances around nervously, her eyes wide with apprehension. "Did you hear that?" she whispers, her voice barely audible over the crackling fire. Her gaze darts into the darkness beyond the firelight, searching for the source of the sound that has set her on edge. "Hear what?" Jake scoffs, though his bravado doesn't quite mask the tremor in his voice. He tries to sound dismissive, but the unease in his eyes betrays him. "Just the wind, Em. Relax," he says, attempting to reassure her. But even as he speaks, he can't shake the feeling that something is watching them from the shadows. But even Jake can't deny the growing unease that hangs heavy in the air. The friends exchange uneasy glances, each of them feeling the same creeping dread. The laughter from their earlier story feels like a distant memory, replaced by a palpable tension. The night seems to close in around them. the darkness pressing in from all sides. Liam throws another log on the fire, trying to ignore the feeling of unseen eyes watching them from the depths of the woods. The flames leap higher, casting long, flickering shadows that dance eerily on the trees. A twig snaps in the darkness. The sound is sharp and sudden, cutting through the night like a knife. The friends freeze, hearts pounding in unison. They hold their breath, straining to hear any other sounds that might follow. Their eyes strain to pierce the veil of darkness, searching for the source of the sound. Silence. The forest seems to mock them with its stillness, as if daring them to make a move. Then a soft, mournful cry echoes through the trees. It's a sound that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once, filling the night with an eerie, haunting melody. It's a sound that sends chills down their spines, a sound that speaks of sorrow and loss. The friends huddle closer together, their fear palpable, a sound that belongs to something not entirely human. The night is alive with whispers, and the friends can only hope that whatever is out there will leave them in peace. Fear, primal and instinctive, takes root. The forest, once a place of serene beauty, now feels like a living entity, watching, waiting. Sarah, her face pale, leans closer to Liam. Her eyes dart around, searching the shadows for any sign of movement. "What was that?" she whispers, her voice barely audible above the pounding of her heart. The silence that follows is deafening, amplifying her fear. Liam shakes his head, his brow furrowed. He tries to appear brave, but the fear in his eyes betrays him. He has no answers, only a growing sense of dread. The forest seems to close in around them, the trees whispering secrets they cannot understand. He wishes they'd never come here. The decision to explore this place now feels like a grave mistake. The wind howls, whipping through the trees with renewed fury. It carries with it a sense of foreboding, as if warning them to leave. The shadows from the fire dance and writhe, taking on menacing shapes that seem to reach out towards them. Each flicker of the flame brings new, terrifying forms. The temperature drops, a sudden, bone-chilling cold that seeps into their bones despite the roaring fire. Their breath becomes visible, adding to the eerie atmosphere. Something is wrong. Terribly wrong. The forest feels alive, as if it's aware of their presence and disapproves. Then, movement in the darkness. A rustling sound, barely perceptible, but enough to send shivers down their spines. A fleeting glimpse of something moving through the trees. It's too quick to identify, but its presence is undeniable. A shadow, darker than the night itself, gliding silently through the undergrowth. It moves with purpose, as if it knows exactly where it's going. A pair of eyes, glowing with an eerie, unnatural light fixated on them from the darkness. They seem to pierce through the soul, leaving a sense of vulnerability. They vanish as quickly as they appeared, leaving behind a trail of icy fear and unanswered questions. The forest returns to its deceptive stillness. The friends are paralyzed with terror, their minds struggling to comprehend what they've just witnessed. The night stretches on, filled with an oppressive silence that promises more horrors to come. "This place," Sarah stammers, her voice trembling. "There's something not right about this place." Liam, his own fear momentarily forgotten, puts a reassuring arm around her. "It's just our imaginations running wild," he says, though his voice lacks conviction. "We're letting the stories get to us." Jake, ever the skeptic, scoffs. "There's no such thing as ghosts," he says, but even he can't hide the tremor in his voice. It's probably just some animal, a deer or something. But deep down, a seed of doubt has been planted. The events of the night are too strange, too unsettling to be easily dismissed. Nobody was able to sleep, so as the first rays of sunshine illuminated their camp, the friends packed up. On their way back to the car, they looked for tracks but found nothing, not even disturbed earth or broken branches in the area where the commotion was. They reached their car, loaded up, and began their trek back to the city, away from whatever that was in the darkness last night. "Good riddance," Sarah sighed in relief as they turned onto the highway toward home. None from the group would ever go camping in the woods again. It changed them. It was as if something ominous knew they were there and wanted them to leave. Before this story is complete, there's one more thing I have to share. S'mores are ready, y'all dig in.